Everyone. So Lonnie Walker has recently fallen out of the rotation for the Los Angeles Lakers, and many people really want to see Lonnie return to some type of play. Most people are like, hey, he doesn't have to play 20, 30 minutes, but give him something, right? You got to find a way to squeeze him in. And Lonnie Walker has been great for the Lakers. For the most part, he has been, up until the trade, our most consistent, especially three-point shooter, period. He's shooting 37% from three this season for us and the Lakers. He's averaging 13 points per game for us, which has been amazing for this team. He started in 32 of 43 of our games this year and was really just kind of that outlier, right? Guy, hyper athletic, has played well above what we were paying him at the mid-level. And it's just, he's been a real bright spot and developed into a real fan favorite for Laker players, right? And it's kind of just a funny story because the narrative in the conversation when the Lakers got Lonnie Walker was why? Why did they waste their money on him? And he just blossomed, right? He really just, he had no fear of the bright lights, has just been a lethal scorer for us, a guy that's just hyper athletic, still very young. That's the big thing too, right? He is just so young. He's only going to improve, only get better at 24 years old. He's got good size for that kind of combo guard type player at 6'4". But he's not the greatest just off dribble shooter, right? He's been great in spot ups. I'm not saying that he can't shoot off the dribble. We've seen him cross up, pull up, boom, splash. But most of his three-point shooting has been off of a pass from somebody, right? LeBron, Russ, AD, whomever, kind of in that spot-up role is knocking it down. Most of his scoring, and even the big games that he has, it's him just kind of using his speed and athleticism to get to the hoop and finish around the rim, finish in an athletic fashion. And he's had some highlight reel moments and just really kind of been a guy that was just very solid. But problem is as great of a scorer as he is an even worse defender. So Lonnie Walker this season has a defensive rating of 117.9. So he's giving up essentially 118 points per 100 possessions. And we have the league average at 115. He is basically 3 points worse than the league average. He is bad. Really bad defensively. Worse than I thought even. I knew he wasn't a very good defender, but he's up there as per minutes played and role played, stuff like he's up there as one of the worst. And that's the problem, right? So given that, he's a guy that who do you start him over, right? As great as he is, it's what it basically boils down to. He is a 6'4" shooting guard. You have the new trade where you got, Malik Beasley, who we just saw what Malik Beasley is capable of. We saw how good he can be. You got Jared Vanderbilt, got D'Angelo Russell, all three of these guys. Not that Vanderbilt plays his role, but because of Vanderbilt, it shifted everything. So now guys get to go to their natural positions, their natural roles, where Lonnie Walker was playing the three a lot as a guy that's not a very good defender. And look, this is coming from a guy that's actually defended his defense, right? His defense has only gotten worse as the season's progressed. It wasn't that bad. It's only gotten worse. He is who he is. He is a great young athletic player that has potential to do a lot, right? But he's not the volume dead-eye shooter that Beasley is. Beasley is better at just better scorer or better shooter, period, and can operate in the mid-range and all that stuff. You got D'Lo, got Vanderbilt, right? Vanderbilt basically shifted, along with Rui, shifted everybody to their natural position. So it's are you starting him over Austin Reeves? No. Austin Reeves is like the ultimate glue guy for this team. The guy just does everything. He's a better defender. He's a guy that can just, he plays great with LeBron, high IQ. You're not starting or basically drowning out Austin Reeves for a Lonnie Walker. Not just that, but Reeves is also bigger. So that also helps, right? And then when you're talking about like, okay, well, then if it's not him, then who else? Okay, well, talking Beasley. Like, Beasley is, again, the best shooter on the roster. He's the guy that is absolutely lights out when he's catching. I mean, again, he's a high volume guy, so there's going to be a lot of 2 and 7 games, but a lot of 7 and 11 games. He also, again, is just so much better at creating than what Lonnie Walker is. You know, and it's nothing against Lonnie Walker. Lonnie Walker is great. And I think if it wasn't given the, like, if we didn't get Beasley, let's say we just got D'Lo and Vanderbilt, I think Lonnie Walker would probably be playing a really good amount of minutes, right? I do. I think he'd be playing a really good amount, but he's not. We did get Beasley. So you're not playing him over Beasley. Okay, so Troy Brown. Troy Brown's the one that people usually use as reference, right? Troy Brown is the one that people I see constantly that are like, hey, you should use Lonnie Walker over Troy Brown. But here's the thing. So Troy Brown is 6'6" as opposed to 6'4". So he can actually play the 3 if need be, which we've seen. He did a great job against Brandon Ingram. He's also younger by a year, but he's still younger. He's got more size to him. And on top of all those things, he's shooting the same 3-point percentage, just shy. He's shooting a little under 37%. So he's shooting, like, let's say 1% worse. So you get a guy that's bigger, stronger, better defensively, and also in the same breath is a guy that he's actually just right at like league average Troy Brown, which is fine, right? That's what you need. But, he's a better defender. He's just as good of a shooter, and he's bigger. So why would you play him or play Lonnie Walker over Troy Brown? It just doesn't make sense when you really sort of like break it down and look at everything, right? When you look at what Reeves provides and just the playmaking ability, right? Like Austin Reeves isn't a great defender either by like the metrics. He has his moments. But he's still, it's a second year, right? So he's still growing, he's getting better, but it's just everything that he provides beyond the defensive side. He is a guy that can get the stop, but it's just high IQ, being able to make plays, being able to shoot, right? On top of being able to shoot, he can go and just get his own shot and shoot off the dribble better, right? So then again, there's basically all of our guys. And D'Lo, right? D'Lo, yes, is the point guard, but if you absolutely needed to, you could always just shift him to the 2 guard and have him play the 2. And again, you're not playing Walker over D'Lo. So it's just the problem is that we just don't have any space. You can make an argument that you're better off playing Devon Reed over Lonnie Walker. Like, I mean that. Like, Devon Reed is a 38%, almost 39% 3-point shooter, so he shoots just as good, if not better. He's 6'5", too, so he's bigger, has more size. And he's almost 5 points better defensively than what Lonnie Walker is. That's a big, big difference. Big difference. And so, again, it's one of those things where, like, as much as we all love Lonnie Walker, he just isn't the guy that you play over the other guys that you have on the roster. Now, if he can get better defensively, which even he's acknowledged he needs to do, and I'm sure Darvin Ham's told him, like, Darvin Ham is a straight from the hip shooter type of guy. No nonsense, no BS. Like, hey, this is what's going on. You want to play, this is what you need to do. But even then, like, even if he does become, unless he becomes just like a ridiculous elite defender, like, I don't see him playing over those guys. Unless, maybe they lose Austin Reeves in the offseason and Lonnie stays and then he gets all of Reeves' minutes. That could be a possibility. But at least this year, for the remainder of this year, I just don't see where you fit and squeeze in Lonnie Walker. I just don't. And again, it's nothing against Lonnie Walker. I love Lonnie Walker. He's been Mr. Reliable, Mr. Consistency for the Lakers this year. It's just unfortunate for him, and fortunate for the Lakers that this is a problem. This wouldn't even have been a conversation, 2 weeks ago. The fact that we can even really talk about this shows the difference that we're in right now, right? So that's huge in and of itself. But anyway, just kind of wanted to air out some thoughts and just have a conversation about Lonnie Walker and do this sort of breakdown, kind of give everyone a better understanding. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think still find a way, get Lonnie Walker minutes? If so, who are you taking minutes away from? Like, how are you doing that? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments section below.